Have you ever actually used gaming set proficiency in any of your sessions? Probably not, but that's because you are missing a crucial ingredient. It's like getting handed a controller only to find out that the batteries are dead. But not anymore, because today you're getting 5 awesome mini games that you can put into any tavern or festival to ensure that your players have a chance to use their proficiency. Plus there's a PDF cheat sheet that you can grab for quick reference so you don't need to memorize any extra rules and you can just focus on having fun. I'm TheAlpineDM, let's get to it. Thieves Can is a dice game for 2 to 6 players that should take 5 to 10 minutes to play. This game of dice and deception is frequently played in back alleys and seedy underbellies of cities. For this game in particular, it is hugely beneficial to have tokens or coins or something to actually represent the gold you're using. Before the game begins, all players must agree on 2 things: the total gold wagered per person and the theft amount. Typically, the theft amount will be about 1/4 of the total gold wagered. Everyone's wagered gold is placed into a large pile in the center of the table. Use each coin to represent the theft amount. So for example, if each person is wagering 100 gold and the theft amount is 25 gold, each person would put 4 tokens or coins into the center pile. Playing. The player with the most expensive jewelry goes first. They roll 2d6, keeping the results hidden from everyone else. When they roll a 7, or if they want to lie about it, they announce "Thieves Can," and they take 1 coin, equal to the theft amount, from the center pile. If everyone believes them, it becomes the next person's turn, going clockwise. If any of the other players don't believe them, the first one to yell "Halt!" can try to guard the pile. When someone yells "Halt!", the thief makes a persuasion check if they're telling the truth, or a deception check if they're lying, but they don't say which one they're doing. This becomes the DC for the guard to make an insight check. If a player is proficient with gaming set dice, they can add their proficiency bonus to either of these rolls, either lying or truthfulness, or the insight check. If the insight check doesn't meet or exceed the thieves check, then the thief proceeds to take that 1 gold and play continues. It's the next person's turn clockwise. If the insight check does meet or exceed the thieves roll, then they must reveal to everyone the number they rolled with their 2d6. If the thief was lying, the thief cannot take any gold, but the guard is able to take 2. If the thief was not lying, then they can take 2 coins instead of 1. Once this is resolved, it becomes the next person's turn clockwise. The game continues until there is no more gold in the center pile. With this game, there's no winners or losers in the typical sense, but some people are going to finish the game with more gold than they bet, and some people are going to finish the game with less gold than they bet. Real quick, thanks for watching. If you're enjoying the video, please subscribe. It really helps me pursue my dream of being a full-time writer, and it helps promote the video to other people who are going to get value out of it. Thanks, that's all. Skullaxe is a card game for 4 people split into 2 teams that should take between 5 and 15 minutes to play. Skullaxe is favored by traveling merchants and mercenaries alike, probably because no sane person would allow them to play it inside their tavern. Skullaxe starts as a trick-taking card game and ends by throwing a wooden skull and swinging a massive axe. The first team to hit the skull with the axe wins. Basics. The game is played in hands, which is split into miniature rounds called tricks, where each person plays a single card. Whoever has the highest valued card wins the round or takes the trick. Card value is determined first by suit and then by number. The highest valued suit, also known as trump, in this game is always hearts, because love conquers all. The second highest valued suit changes every single trick, but it's always whatever the suit is of the very first card played. For the remainder of that trick, the other 2 suits of cards are completely useless. Numbers are valued as 2 being the least valuable and ace as the highest, just a standard progression. Players must follow suit whenever possible, which means the card that you play has to match the suit of the very first card played during the trick. So if the first card played is a spade, everybody has to play spade if they have one available. If somebody doesn't have a card of this suit, then they can just play whatever. Playing. Everyone sits around a table on the opposite side of their partner, and the gold wagered is placed in the center of the table. Whoever has killed a monster most recently starts as the dealer. They deal 5 cards to each player and then set the deck aside. The person to the left of the dealer plays their leading card, and play continues clockwise until everyone has played a card. After everyone has played a card, the trick is given to whoever has the highest valued card out of those that have been played. Whoever took the trick begins the next round by being the first one to play their card, and play continues clockwise just as before. This continues until everyone runs out of cards. It's only 5 cards in a hand, so it shouldn't take terribly long. At this point, the hand is over, and whichever team has at least 3 tricks between them gets an opportunity to swing the axe, and someone from the other team is chosen to throw the skull. The skull thrower makes an athletics or sleight of hand check to throw the skull, and this becomes the skull's AC. The axe swinger makes a melee attack trying to hit the skull as it's thrown at them, aiming for that target's AC, determined by the person who threw it. If players are proficient with gaming set cards, they can add their proficiency bonus to either throwing the skull or swinging the axe. If they hit the skull, the game is over and the winning team takes all the gold. If they do not hit the skull, all tricks are discarded and a new hand is dealt, with the axe swinger acting as the first dealer. Shipwreck is a dice game for at least 2 teams of 2, and it takes 60 seconds to play. This tavern game is very popular in fishing villages and port towns. Teams of 2 face off against each other to create whirlpools and see who can make the most shipwrecks. On each team, one person is the spinner, they'll need 2 d10s, and the other person is the flipper, they'll need 1 d6. The game lasts 60 seconds in real life. As soon as the timer begins, each spinner tries to keep both of their d10s spinning at the same time. When both of the dice are spinning, they've created a whirlpool, and their teammate can begin rolling the d6 as fast as they can, over and over again. They score points or cause shipwrecks whenever they roll a 1. It is the flipper's responsibility on each team to keep track of their own points. If either of the spinner's d10s stops spinning, the flipper cannot score any more points and cannot roll again until both d10s are spinning. Once 60 seconds have passed, the game is over. If a player has proficiency with gaming set dice, they can add their proficiency bonus to their final score. If both people on the team are proficient, they both get to add this. Whichever team has the most points when the game is over wins all of the gold. Sun Rabbit Rummy is a card game for 2 to 8 players that should take 5 to 10 minutes to play. Be the last rabbit standing in this game of card matching and elimination. To begin, each player rolls a d6 and draws that many cards plus 3. If a player is proficient with gaming set cards, they can draw additional cards equal to their proficiency bonus. After everyone has drawn, flip over 1 card from the top of the deck to become the discard pile. Everybody starts with 8 hit points, which is represented by a d8. Throughout the game, players are going to match cards to deal damage to each other, and whoever is the last person standing wins. Playing. Choose somebody to go first, and then play continues clockwise. Turn order goes draw, play, discard, draw. A player begins their turn by drawing a card from the top of the deck or from the discard pile. If you take from the deck, draw a single card. If you take from the discard pile, you can either take the top card, or if there's more cards, you can take any card, but the rule is if you take a card lower than the very top of the discard pile, you have to pick up all of the cards above that, and on this turn, you have to play the very bottom card you took. Play. On your turn, you can play as many cards as you are able to. To play cards, you must have at least 3 in a matching set or in a run. A run starts as 3 consecutive cards in the same suit, such as a 9, 10, and Jack of Spades. For these, the ace can either be high or low, but it can't be both. Once it's decided, it has to stay that way. A set is 3 or 4 of the same card in all the different suits. So a 4 of hearts, 4 of diamonds, and 4 of clubs could be a set. When you play cards, lay them down in front of you, revealing them for everyone to see. Once a run or set is in play and on the battlefield, additional cards may be added to continue the run or the set. In this case, there's no minimum, and you can actually play cards off of your opponent's runs and sets. You deal 1 damage to any player for every card played. So for example, if you play 3 cards in a run, you have 3 damage that you can deal out either to one person or split up however you want. When somebody's hit points drops to 0, they are eliminated from the game, but their cards remain in play. Discard. When you are finished playing cards on your turn, you must discard a card. If you are unable to discard, draw a card instead. Or if you discard your last card and don't have a hand at all, then you also will draw one card. Rummy. If somebody discards a card that could have been played anywhere on the board, somebody can shout Rummy at any point before the next person draws their card. The person who calls Rummy takes the card from the discard pile, even if it's not their turn, and plays it. They can then deal 3 damage to any player instead of the normal 1. The game ends when everybody except for one person is eliminated and they win all the gold. Cobalt is a dice game for any number of players and it lasts however long you want it to. This game of dice is going to be found in actual casinos or gambling houses because it requires a designated person to be the house, which of course is going to be the DM. Since this game has a DM acting as the house, it can be played with only one player, but of course it's always more fun to have more people playing. The DM is going to need 3 d20s, ideally one of them is going to be larger than the others. Anyone who is playing is going to need as many d12s as they have. Playing. This game is played like blackjack, where a bet is required every single round that somebody wants to play. Before any dice are rolled, players place their bet in front of them. Once the bets are made, the house or the DM rolls their large d20 and this becomes the target number. The house then rolls their other 2 d20s. Whichever of these is closer to the target number without going over becomes the house's roll. Players are trying to roll d12s to get closer to the target number than the house's roll without going over. They start by rolling a single d12. If they haven't busted or rolled above the target roll, then they can decide if they want to roll another d12. And if they haven't busted, then they can see if they want to roll another d12. Again, trying to get closer to the target number than the house's roll. They can keep rolling d12s until they're satisfied with their number or until they bust. If a player is proficient, they can add, but not subtract, up to half of their proficiency bonus to their final roll. Winning. If a player's final roll is closer to the target number than the house's roll, that player wins gold equal to what they wagered. If a player busts or rolls above the target roll, they lose their wager. If a player is not closer than the house's roll to the target roll, they lose their wager. If a player hits the target exactly, they get gold equal to 1.5 times what they wagered. And special circumstance, if the target roll is a 1, then all bets are collected immediately and a new round can begin. You lose. That's what happens. You lose.